Before they became missing persons, they were mothers, they were daughters, they were sisters, they were friends, they were deeply loved. For every family still searching, for every name that deserves to be remembered, for every story that deserves to be told, this is their stories to tell. On December 27th, 2018, 35-year-old Nahendra Davis was last seen in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It was her birthday. Earlier that afternoon, Nahendra dropped her children off at her mother's home in the Glen Oaks neighborhood. At approximately 4:45 p.m., she left driving her white 2015 Dodge Challenger. No one knew those would be the last confirmed moments anyone would see her. Sometime later, Nahendra's Dodge Challenger was found abandoned near Scenic Highway and 72nd Avenue in Baton Rouge. Inside the vehicle, investigators found her purse, her keys, and cash. The discovery raised more questions than answers. Authorities have never publicly explained what happened after Nahendra drove away from her mother's home. According to her family, leaving without contacting her loved ones was completely out of character. As investigators searched for answers, very little information about the case was released publicly. The years passed, but the questions remained. What happened after Nahendra left her mother's home? Where did she go? And who knows the truth about what happened that day? Today, Nahendra Davis remains missing. Her disappearance remains unsolved. Every missing person deserves to be searched for. Every family deserves answers. And every story deserves to be told. On April 1st, 2011, 44-year-old Rita Shaw vanished from New Orleans, Louisiana. Rita was last seen in the 4700 block of Cerise Street, where she lived with her mother. That was the last confirmed time anyone saw her. Rita was living with schizophrenia, and she required medication to manage her condition. When she wasn't taking her medication, her family said she sometimes struggled with substance use. Despite those challenges, they say Rita always stayed in contact. Leaving without telling anyone was completely out of character. The last person known to have seen Rita was her boyfriend. Investigators have stated that he was not considered a suspect in her disappearance. About 3 years later, he was murdered in the same area where the two were known to spend time together. Authorities have never linked his death to Rita's disappearance. As the days turned into weeks, there were no phone calls, no confirmed sightings, no answers. Rita's family searched, hoping someone had seen something or knew where she had gone, but every lead came to a dead end. More than a decade has passed. Her family has publicly said they believe she may no longer be alive, but without answers, they have never been able to bring her home. Rita Today, Rita Shaw remains missing. Her disappearance remains unsolved. Every missing person deserves to be searched for. Every family deserves answers. And every story deserves to be told. On September 22, 2017, 29-year-old Keisha D. Sylvester disappeared from Breaux Bridge, Louisiana. Keisha was last seen at a home in Breaux Bridge. That would be the last confirmed time anyone saw or heard from her. When her family realized they couldn't reach her, they immediately knew something wasn't right. Keisha was close with her family. They described her as confident, happy, and someone who stayed in touch every day. Leaving without contacting the people she loved was completely out of character. Inside her home, investigators found her purse, her cell phone, and the dinner she had been preparing still sitting on the stove. She also never picked up her final paycheck from work, something her family says she never would have ignored. Just weeks later, Keisha missed one of the moments she had been looking forward to the most, her daughter's prom. Her family said she had already chosen the hairstyle she planned to do for her daughter that night. She never made it there. A possible sighting was reported on October 2, 2017, when someone believed they saw Keisha riding in a white truck near Breaux Bridge. That sighting has never been confirmed. Only days after Keisha disappeared, the trailer where she lived and many of her belongings were moved by her landlord. Her family has expressed concern that potential evidence may have been lost or destroyed as a result. Investigators believe foul play may have been involved, but despite years of searching, no arrests have been made. Today, Keisha D. Sylvester remains missing. Her disappearance remains unsolved. Every missing person deserves to be searched for. Every family deserves answers. And every story deserves to be told. On March 3, 2001, 42-year-old Terri Mozze disappeared from New Orleans, Louisiana. That day, Terri was seen getting into a taxi in front of her residence. She was carrying luggage and told others she was taking a trip. She said she would return that weekend. She never did. When Terri failed to come home, her loved ones became concerned. Days turned into weeks, but there were no confirmed sightings, no phone calls, and no indication of where she had gone. Terri was living with Parkinson's disease at the time of her disappearance. Because of her medical condition, her family worried she may have needed medication and assistance. Investigators looked into her disappearance, but very little information has ever been released publicly. No suspects have been identified, and no arrests have ever been made. Years passed, yet Terri's family never stopped searching for answers. In 2008, she was declared legally dead. But a declaration is not an explanation. Her disappearance remains unsolved. Today, more than 2 decades later, no one knows what happened to Terri Mozze. Her family is still left without answers. Terri Mozze remains missing. Every missing person deserves to be searched for. Every family deserves answers. And every story deserves to be told. On or around February 1st, 2005, 40-year-old Lynitta Hargray disappeared from Tallulah, Louisiana. Lynitta was last seen at her residence near the 400 block of Askew Street. The exact date of her final contact is unclear, but a package mailed to her address in early February was later returned to the sender. After that, Lynitta was never heard from again. Very little information about the circumstances surrounding her disappearance has ever been released. It is unknown who last saw her, whether she left her home alone, or what may have happened after she vanished. Some reports have indicated that Lynitta may have traveled to the Miami, Florida area. However, that possibility has never been confirmed publicly. At the time she disappeared, Lynitta was 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighed between 275 and 300 pounds. She had black or dark brown hair, brown eyes, pierced ears, and a small scar in the center of her forehead. She often wore her hair in braids or extensions. Lynitta also had an unspecified medical condition, and both of her big toes had a deformity known as hammer toe. More than 2 decades have passed, yet few answers have emerged. No confirmed sightings have been publicly reported, and the circumstances of her disappearance remain unknown. Today, Lynitta Hargray remains missing. Her case remains unsolved. Every missing person deserves to be searched for. Every family deserves answers, and every story deserves to be told. On the morning of June 13, 2008, 27-year-old LaKisha Shantella Taylor was getting ready for the day inside her home in Lake Charles, Louisiana. When her cousin left to pick up breakfast, it seemed like an ordinary morning, but by the time she returned, LaKisha had vanished. Inside the home, investigators found several unsettling clues. The clothes iron was still on. Freshly ironed clothes were lying on the bed. The bathtub was full of water, as though LaKisha had been getting ready for the day. LaKisha left behind her purse, identification, money, her cell phone, clothing, jewelry, makeup, and every other personal belonging. She also never contacted her 3 young children or anyone in her family again, something loved ones say was completely out of character. Investigators believe foul play was involved in her disappearance. Her estranged husband was identified early in the investigation as a person of interest. However, no one has ever been arrested or charged in connection with LaKisha's disappearance. More than 18 years have passed since LaKisha Shantella Taylor disappeared. The questions surrounding what happened that June morning remain unanswered. Her children grew up without knowing what became of their mother. Her loved ones are still waiting for the day they finally get the truth. Until that day comes, LaKisha's name deserves to be spoken. Her story deserves to be remembered, and her family deserves answers. If LaKisha's story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment to honor her memory, and subscribe to Their Stories to Tell as we continue giving a voice to the women who can no longer tell their own stories. Say their names, share their stories, demand answers, and never let them be forgotten. No woman should ever vanish without headlines.